So we've got around 10 minutes for questions, I think.
Yeah, we'll finish at 25 o'clock.
Good. So I don't know if anybody, has any questions. Straight away. There you go.
Thank you very much. I was fascinated to hear about Andy Serkis's new setup, Imaginarium. I think it's inspired. Is that something that the National Film and Television School is going to be able to foster, that kind of skill and interest with the new generation of film students, TV producers, that sort of thing? And can I just ask, Andy, I thought you played a brilliant role in Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. Were your legs digitally enhanced?
Smoke the mirrors. That would be giving away trade secrets. A little bit of everything, a little bit of what we've been talking about, which is actually serving the story. But there's one shot of a digitally enhanced limb. There's one prosthetic limb at one point, and then there's one shot of Iain Dury himself swimming underwater. So there's ways of it's just about fooling the eye in different ways, really.
Yeah, so that actually leads straight into NFTS has the only course in the world which combines visual special effects with traditional special effects. So you have, the real limb. And you have the digitally enhanced one, and I think there's nowhere else in the world that does this, and that's why it was so interesting to look at Iain's clip, because it's a combination of traditional special effects and explosions and walls and so on and so forth, and at the same time there's a digital enhancement going on which we're not allowed to know about.
Well, I mean, in the clip that you saw, there was almost every single physical special effects technique and visual effects technique. And I just refuse to tell you which is which. Why should I?
So yes, and then we have a separate DPP, which is a post-production digital course, and then we are pretty much, I would say, probably about a third of the pictures that are made for graduation involve some kind of green screen, miniaturization, CG, and so on and so forth. So we're right in them. We're just about to start a 3D module under which they'll be making a 3D film. It's because I reckon there's going to be a lot of jobs out there for cinematographers particularly, but also production designers, directors, of course, who have any kind of 3D experience, as you were saying. So the quicker I can get them into the market, the more successful they'll be, and the longer time until I get fired. We have one at yeah.
Go green when it's ready.
Yep.
Don't worry, just use your natural voice.
So, and another question for Andy about this fantastic project. Can you just tell us a bit more about, what happens now? Are you going to set up a building, or is it going to be more kind of an online sort of virtual school? Or if you just expand on, as Lavinia was saying, your extremely exciting plans.
Eventually it'll be a theatre. It's a bit of a Freudian slip because I was just about to talk about theatre. I come from a theatre background, and what I've always loved about theatre is the harnessed energy in a building where people have a place of work to go to every day, and there's a constant toing and fro, and what Weta, digital and physical, had, which I was talking about earlier, was just this sense of place, a forum. So in my mind's eye, that's exactly what the Imaginarium will be. It'll be, if I could draw it for you, it would be very much. There's a theatre called the Royal Exchange Theatre in Manchester. I don't know if anybody of you's heard of it. It's an in-the-round theatre. It's purpose-built in-the-round theatre. It is the idea for me of pouring energy into a central. It all being based around a central performance area, and then having suites and offices, and performance capture is an amazing spectator sport because you can actually see an actor. Playing the character and watch on the screen what in real time what's going on. So so basically it'll be an academy to train up people to work in that environment and to to cross-fertilise, is what I was saying earlier. You know, just to exchange, to have writers coming at early stages, a chance for development, R&D stuff, ideas, experimentation. And it's that kind of thing.
And in like 5 years or next
Hopefully not. I mean, we have a project which is probably going to kick-start it as more of a virtual company at the moment, and then that's going to, you know, as finance comes along, which I would hope would come from, you know, I think there should be some serious, you know, government investment in, you know, in this kind of idea, because it's something that is going to impact a lot of young people.
Well, I'm told under either party that there's money available for anything digital. You know. Well, not maybe your fingers. But it's, my watch says 20 past and that one says 25 past. Which one should I be going by? What's that? Oh, okay, good. So do we have any... Yes, we have a question at the back here.
Jonathan Davis. The question, I suppose, is to Iain. There was another element in Children of Men which was very impressive, and that was the work of Foreign Office. And I'd never come across that kind of work before on film, to design all the graphics side. And I think that what everyone, though, was talking about was expanding the job, whether it's producing or capturing, whether it's performance or the images. And do we have the skills? Have we defined those jobs? And are we able to make sure that they're fulfilled?
Shall I?
Yeah, go ahead.
We definitely have the skills. We definitely have the potential for the skills that are evolving, because that's one of the main characteristics of the moment, is that skill bases are changing. We need to learn everything as it happens. I mean, we've referred to the role of the DOP. That's fundamentally changing. I mean, A-list DOPs now see themselves as early day content providers. You're seeing the emphasis moving from production control during shooting through to production control during post. That has significant changes. So I think the skill base changes, but the need for the right kind of mentality, the need for the right kind of attitude, and the kind of people that work in the movie business doesn't change. It was the same when I came into the business. It's the same now. You have to have an absolute commitment to what you're trying to do, and you have to work very, very hard, and you have to be very clever.
And you have to have that, I love this phrase, the number 8 wire philosophy that you brought up. Because if students at the NFTS, and we have students here from the NFTS, say they want to do a specific thing in their film, you know, you can either take the number 8 philosophy, number 8 wire philosophy, and say, yes, but how are we going to achieve that, and what things do we need to do to make it all work? Or we can say, which I have to say seemed to be the philosophy when I write at school, well, if it's not, it can't be done. You have you have to rewrite your script, so to speak.
There's a thing I call the edge of impossibility, which is the point when you start to feel worried, pain, you know, how are we going to do this? It's going to cost too much money, too much time, whatever. That's the place where you should be when you're making films.
Good. Well, if we don't have any further questions, I know that we need to wrap up. I think the lesson from this is technology, you know, does many things. You know, it enables, it saves money, it creates from scratch, it's creative, it can be just simply used to improve shots that you would otherwise have. And I was fascinated by, Greg, your contribution, especially about noses, the importance of noses. So did you find that?
No, absolutely very true.
Yeah. Good. So I learned something today. So I'd like to say a big thank you to Iain Smith, the ever discreet Iain Smith. To Rupert Preston, who definitely Vertigo going to places other people fear. To Andy Serkis, Serkis, the cyber thespian, a new phrase that I've learned, but also a really good, like, traditional actor, and to Greg Butler.
I also thank Chairman Powell.
Gemma Powell.
Very good.